Welcome to the Hilton Head Living Podcast. I am your host, OT Gibbons. Our mission with all of our content is to make sure you get the most out of your time in Hilton Head. All the best places to go, all the biggest events going on, everything you need to know to get the most out of your time on the island. I'm joined as always by the star of our content, my beautiful co-host and wife, Jessica Gibbons. How you doing, Jess?
Hey.
All right, on this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about things to do in Hilton Head this weekend, what upcoming things are happening that you need to know about. We're going to be talking about our favorite new thing that we tried this past week, and as always, we're going to be answering the people. So with that, Jess, what's going on this weekend?
We're going to start off on Friday. Bluffton is having their Spring Fling Art Walk from 3 to 5 in Old Town Bluffton, and the galleries are going to be open and welcoming people in with food. There's going to be live music, and it's an honor because April is Art Month. And then while you're in Bluffton, might as well just stick around on Friday for the Bluffton Sunset Party Kickoff Celebration. So from now and I think until September, once a month, they'll be having these sunset parties of just a bunch of live music going on, people having a good time. It's from 5:30 to 9:30 at the Oyster Factory Park. Like I said, live music. There's a beer garden, a wine bar, lots of food that you can purchase, and you can bring your own lawn chair and whatever else you need. But you cannot bring your own food or drink. You have to purchase there. And you can either purchase tickets in advance for $16 or at the door for $20. And it is a cash-only event, so make sure you have plenty of cash with you and to have a good time. And then this weekend is the annual Hilton Head Art Market on the 27th and the 28th. So Saturday is from 10 to 5, and on Sunday it's 10 to 4. And it's at Honeyhorn. So where the Coastal Discovery Museum is, parking super easy, tons of parking, easy to get in and out of there. Tons of local vendors and local food trucks that will be there with all their goodies for you to buy and explore and taste. It sounds like that'll be a great time. And it is $5 for general admission. You can either buy them online or buy them when you get there too. And then on the 27th, the Jarvis Creek General Store is having their first birthday. So they'll have a celebration basically all day long from 10 a.m. to 9. And there's going to be beer specials, music, games, and giveaways. And it sounds like a lot of fun. We love Jarvis Creek General Store. It's close to us. I was just there this weekend. And
what was the name of the place that you went to this past weekend? What was the lobster place called?
It was a food truck at the Jarvis Creek General Store.
What was it called?
A Low Country Lobster, which is very good.
All their food trucks that they have there have been really good.
And they're pretty good about having on their Instagram the schedule of what's going on each day, of what food truck's going to be there, what live music is going to be there. They have like movie night going on, and they have wine tastings, I think, on Thursday. They always have stuff going on. It's a really cool place. They have huge screen TVs. They set a stage for live music.
How was the breakfast one that they had? Didn't you get a breakfast sandwich?
I haven't gotten a breakfast yet. They just started, I think just like last week, they just started their own breakfast food truck. So we do need to try that out though.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a fun time. And then at the bank on Saturday, they're going to have Ales for Autism fundraiser. And there'll be commemorative glasses, a 50-50 raffle, a silent auction, and the proceeds go to the Low Country Autism Foundation. So a great foundation. So get out there, support local foundations that are great. On the 28th is the Earth Day 5K and Festival. So the actual Earth Day is on Monday, the 22nd, but they're having the 5K on Sunday, and it's hosted by Palmetto Running Company, and it's $35 for adults and $25 for kids. And afterwards, there's a free festival hosted by the Outside Foundation, which I absolutely love. I think they're a wonderful foundation. And it'll just be kind of educational of how we can help keep the earth clean and keep things going. And especially around here with all the wildlife and the sea life, we definitely need to help keep things clean.
That reminds me of the time that we were standing on Coligny Beach and you were like informing everybody of you better fill in they were digging, there were a bunch of holes. You're like, please make sure to fill in the holes for the sea turtles. Yeah, she loves that stuff. Definitely, big fan of it. So I just reminds me, it was super cute. She's like, oh, there's a bunch of they obviously had a couple drinks and you were walking around are you going to fill that in?
I wasn't mean about it. I wasn't.
No, you're really nice about it.
I just want to make sure the sea turtles. I explained because of the sea turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what reminds me of. That's awesome.
Definitely wasn't as much of this until we moved here.
Yeah.
Now I need to save the sea turtles and all the wildlife that we see. It's so cool to see it. So, in DC, you don't see it that much. You see trash everywhere, unfortunately. So.
And all the doggies, obviously.
and all the
doggies.
Anyways, one new kind of noteworthy is Nona Marie's Gelato, which is a gelato shop in the village of Wexford. They're now having a little pop-up at the Lawton Stables in Sea Pines, which I think is brilliant. That's a lot of kids are there to do there's the small petting farm. You can do pony rides, and especially during the summer, it's so hot there and stuff. It'd be amazing if you had a kid. You do the small farm area, and then you get an ice cream. They're happy for the day, I would think.
Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's delicious. It's so good. Do you remember when we went to it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
And they had
their ice cream was great. Yeah.
Yeah, they had very unique flavors, and they had even flavored cones. Mm-hmm. So it was delicious. We need to go back there for sure.
Okay, so I was out of town this week, back in DC for work, but Jess, what was your favorite new thing that you tried this week?
Obviously, it was attending the RBC Heritage for the first time. Woo! It was a lot of fun. We went on Thursday, so it wasn't as craziness. Some people seem to like that, but I kind of want to try the craziness. I want to do the Friday or Saturday, maybe not Sunday as much, but a Friday or Saturday. I feel like would be fun.
I went on Saturday. I mean, it was good people watching, but it was definitely it reminded me of, I was in college and they used to have this thing called, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the name of it. It was like a horse race, and everyone wore all their sundresses and the whole thing, and it was cool. I went once, and then the second, third time you go, you're like, all right, I'm kind of good with this. But that Heritage kind of becomes the golf becomes very secondary to the socialization of the event. But it's what'd you think about riding the bikes there, organizationally and all that stuff?
Oh, well, that was the funny part. A very memorable part was the bike ride there. I was very concerned because I haven't ridden a bike ride, and I don't know how long, and I feel like you do forget how to ride a bike. Once I was on it, I was okay. Luckily, we didn't have to go in through any narrow things or pass by people because I might have run them over. I really was so nervous. So, and then on the way back was even trickier because they'd partake in some festivities of, some funness. And so it was a little harder going back, but luckily there was even less people, so thank goodness. And right when it started to get crowded is when you have to park your bikes anyways, and then you walk. So correct. It really was way better than I was anticipating. I really was very, very nervous for it.
And what about at the event? It's pretty organized,
It's
right?
really, when we got in, it's there's your ticket, go through, and everybody's so nice too, will put you in the right direction or whatnot. And right when we walked in, we got to see Roy tee off. So
oh, he was right there?
He was right there, so that was pretty cool.
What you may not know is that bike, the bike parking lot, which I think is just one of the coolest things ever. You obviously don't follow golf or know random tour golfers, but when you park your bike in there, you will often see a bunch of people. And then I saw a video that Colin Morikawa was pumping Java Burrito. The players really do kind of embrace the Hilton Head lifestyle. They ride their bikes there. They kind of eat. They obviously are eating local. It is cool. You'll just see them kind of floating around. It's kind of it's really the only place or sport that you see that kind of interaction or closeness with the players. You wouldn't get that in NFL, NBA, anything like that. So it's cool. And then where were you guys sitting?
Well, that's what I didn't realize. because your mom had gotten the tickets, that we were in the Calabogie tent thing. I thought we were like walking around, which wouldn't make sense with an 8-month pregnant woman, but I was like prepared to be in the sun walking around all day. And then we walk into this ginormous tent with couches and air conditioning and food and drinks. I was like, oh, okay, this is, And we were you could see them putting on the 17th hole and then teeing off on the 18th hole and the beautiful view of the Calabogie. So I think I got a little spoiled.
Yeah, you did. That's like the really nice one. For Saturday and Sunday, I think my brother and dad were just over. They were in another version of that's much like, it's like 2 steps down from that. But maybe better for viewing for guys who are really into the golf.
Like I said, anyway, especially having somebody who's very pregnant with you was...
How was the weather?
It was beautiful. Some people might have said it's hot, but inside in the air conditioning, I was cold. I was like, I thought it was perfect weather outside and had my plaid skirt on, so it was a lot of fun. And it was just fun also walking around and people watching kind of thing and seeing all the tents that were set up and stuff. Like, I didn't really realize that companies, it would even be like 3 companies in a tent kind of thing, so...
Yeah, it's very big. It's like all local. It's mostly all local vendors, but they all show out up there. It's a big deal locally.
It was. And then Saturday I got to go to a heritage party, so I got to wear my cute sundress there, watching the golf too was on, and socializing and just having some good time.
And I have something that I can add to this from my experience today, but I think it kind of goes more towards the question we're going to answer, so I'll save that.
Okay. Well, we can go into it.
Unless you want to just go right into it.
How was your weekend in D.C.?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just go right into answering the people, which is we've been getting a lot of questions about the Hilton Head Airport and how to kind of get it in and out of Hilton Head if you're flying here. I was just up in D.C. and I flew back today. Today's Monday. There was actually a Monday finish at the Heritage. Oh my goodness, was the airport at Savannah Airport just absolutely swamped. Really never seen. I've flown out of there 25 times, 30 times in the last year, and it's never been so busy. Wild. So clearly the most visited, most attended thing from out-of-towners is this week as well. But so from the airport perspective, answering the Hilton Head Airport thing, yes, there is a airport on Hilton Head Island. I personally would not recommend it.
I actually have never flown out of it or into it. I've only picked you up or dropped people off there. I've actually never even been inside of it.
Okay, so it's one of the craziest airports you'll ever go in. It honestly feels like you're flying out of a private airfield. But that's not where the majority of people are going to fly into. Most people are going to end up in Savannah, which I'll get to in a second. But Hilton Head Airport, it's very, very small. There's basically 2 gates, and to call them gates is like an exaggeration. It's basically one room with 2 doors. And most of the time, they're really just using the one door. And basically, the flights are at the same time. Everybody shows up right at the same time. And then security is a nightmare, which gives me crazy anxiety. And I hate so much because they've got like one person working security, taking all the bags. It's just a whole ordeal. I wouldn't call it like the best run, but it's like they got like 3 people working there. So it's like, it's just very Hilton Head, I guess.
And there is the advantage that it is on the island and it takes 2 seconds to get anywhere else.
It's not. I can't even. There's nothing really to compare it to. I was about to compare it to like Key West, but even Key West is like has more than this one. Like, it's like really, it's like a double wide. Like no joke, it's a double wide. Anyway, most of you are going to end up at Savannah. Savannah Airport is freaking awesome. Best airport I have ever been to in my life. I love this place. Today, Monday after Heritage, most crowded I've ever seen it. Probably still only like 30 minutes maybe in the security line, if that, and TSA had like no line to get in. But when I got off the airplane, it was packed. Door to door, I got off the airplane at 10:49. 10:49. I got out of the car and asked Jess what time it was. Maybe like after greeting my dogs for a little bit, it was 12 o'clock on the nose. We do live on the first possible turn once you get off the Hilton Head Bridge. So like maybe if you were going to Sea Pines, it could potentially be like 90 minutes. But for me, it's an hour max, and there was a bunch of traffic, a lot of cars. I parked as far away as possible because of how crowded it was when I left. Like, it couldn't have been any longer than the hour 10 it took me to get home. Typically, it's like 45 to 50 minutes door to door, and I can get through security in about 20 after I park. So it's really, really fantastic. There's 16 gates. It's incredible. Like my favorite airport ever. I can't say enough nice things about it.
And the gates are literally right after security. I missed a gate. I think it was gate 2. And I was like, wait, where? I'm all of a sudden at like 5. Where did 2 go? Because it was 2 steps from going through security.
Yep.
So it's good. And it's also nice to, whenever like picking people up or dropping them off, a lot of times we go into Savannah too. So that's a nice little getaway day trip. There's so much to do in Savannah. I still haven't done nearly enough there. I still love going there. So that's kind of fun when you pick somebody up, you then go to Savannah for a little bit and have a little fun. I do wish they would have a little bit more to eat there, though.
Yeah, you don't want to get there too early. Not a ton going on there. It's hard to kill time in that airport. I was really early at DCA, and it was great. It was big. There's plenty of room to kill time. But, for most people coming here on vacation, you're going to walk right out. You get the rentals you have to take the shuttle to, but it's a super easy airport, and then the trip is really simple. It's straight up 95. You take exit 8 off of 95, and then it's just where on the island you're going to. If you're going to the far south side of the island, maybe it's like 90 minutes. But if you're kind of coming somewhere middle of the island or there's not a lot of traffic getting onto the island, it's about an hour.